Okay, this is about magnet mounting. Now there are other videos we have that goes through this complete process step by step, and they're half this size, but I wanted to cover the basics so you understand how to put this together. I'm using these N52s. They're rated at 160 pounds. They used to be rated at 144, but they upgraded them. They're an N52 neodymium magnet. What I've done here is I just marked the side, the north, that's going to face out. So if you can see here, this is repelling, and this is the cover. It's real simple to make. The reason I started using stainless steel covers was I had a magnet fly off of one of my motors, a VMG. I was using plastic hold downs, and I went to stainless steel, and since then I haven't really looked back because it doesn't interfere with the magnetic field strength. People say it does, but I've found that to be untrue. So I use stainless steel. One of the main reasons is that when this wheel is spinning, as the coils out here fire against this magnet, it puts stress on this. And if the mounting comes loose, it'll start to wobble. And as it starts to wobble loose, it will work its way out, and you'll have a catastrophic crash of this magnet mount against your coil. It can destroy your motor. And stainless steel is cheap enough, you can get a small piece of it and make these covers, and I've not had a problem with one of these coming loose. All the force is applied to the side, so it's screwed through here. So the stainless steel itself is actually the retaining mount. And early on I had a stainless steel strip, and I put screws in the face of them. They were working loose. They actually hit one of the things, but it was at a very low speed, so it didn't do a whole lot of damage like the first one did. Could have killed somebody. This cover is just a straight piece of steel, and I'm going to contain this thin N52 magnet, and there's 10 on this wheel. So I'll go through this process real quick of bending this so you can mount it. Okay, now I've got I cut the grooves in it for the sides. Now I'm going to drill, and because they're all strapped together, and I'm going to put them in a vise and drill that. You don't ever want to try to drill one flat piece of steel like that. If it hangs up in the drill, it's going to slice you up. So remember, you need to put that in a vise. It needs to be clamped down. There's no chance that this steel is going to move on you. So had them all together. I screwed all the holes, and I cut the little notches to bend the tabs. And why that's significant is you want to make sure that this little tab is no thicker than your magnet. And I use just a piece of old scrap steel here, and bend these down. Just like that. We're going to flip it over and do the other side. This all goes pretty quick. Once you get the hang of this, you won't want to do it any other way. I'm pretty satisfied with making these covers like this. Now, we're going to make something where the magnets are recessed into the wheel. You could just use a strip. You wouldn't have to do all this extra work. You wouldn't have to do all this extra work. You could just use a strip over it and just drill 4 holes in the strip. So what we have now is the sides are bent, and what I'm going to do is mark the center of this so we can line that with the mark that we got on the wheel. So just use a center finding rule or measure it. and mark your center point. Now once you got your center point, that's going to line up with this line that's generated from the alignment guide. What I've been doing, and it seems to work pretty well, is I put silicone down in this bed of the magnet, and then when I screw them on, that acts like a buffer and it stops it from moving in there loose, and it's a rubber, so it will absorb any little clicking that it might happen. There we go. Now that's sitting where I want it. It's just as simple as drilling the hole. Now what I'm doing is I'm setting all one side, and then I'll flip it over, and then I'll mount the other side. So and once I have this side mounted the way I want it, I'll flip it over, put the screws in the other side, and it'll be done. So, and the last step is to bend these little tabs right here down to cover that up. It's just a reinforcing to keep the magnet from pushing against that side, but it generally doesn't move too much once you've got it mounted like that. So that's how you mount the magnets on a scrapper motor.